And welcome in, everybody. I am Tony Jigsaw Casillo. Ain't been here in a while. It's Friday night. It's raining out. If you're in the East Coast, you're probably in a flood zone right now. So what better way to spend your Friday night but to talk a little prop betting, a little DFS in about 20 minutes on the alternative edge, okay, on the Sharp app. Will Carson Wentz be fancy friendly? Can CJ Uzomah continue to be a very relevant piece in Cincinnati? And could Kenneth Gainwell be in the city, the Motown city this week, and absolutely explode? We're going to talk about this right tonight, right here on the Alternative Edge. And again, this is all sponsored by UC the Sharp app. If you have not downloaded the Sharp app yet, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Okay. You got to go out there. You see on the bottom, the code will take you directly to where you get your first month for free. And you absolutely put on the heat-free coupon code so they know Jigsaw sent you. Okay. Join the free Discord chat in the YouTube link. Obviously, subscribe to the page. Follow all the social media, but you want to get in that Discord room. You want to hear all the brilliant minds of the Sharp app. So make sure you get in there. We got guys, big time guns like David Meltzer and Anthony Gargano, just checking in, doing amazing things. So check us out. You will not be disappointed. So again, this is the Alternative Edge, and I've been a little inconsistent lately with content, but a lot of things going on. Finally starting to get back on track here, and a really good week. I want to stick to this show about under 20 minutes. And again, we're talking about DFS and prop betting. I'm not going to sit here and talk about money lines, or not going to sit about over and unders on the actual game. We're going to talk about individual players and why I like people that we like. Okay. And I'm going to break everybody's heart right now, because the absolute first person that I'm talking about, okay, we know where this is going. We know where this is going. I hate to do it to everybody, but we got to talk about Carson. We have to talk about Carson. And the biggest thing for me is with Carson Wentz, I think we all knew. Everybody in Philadelphia knew this was going to happen. And you know what? Kudos to him. And again, look at this number right here. Again, the way this show works for me, the reason why I like the Alternative Edge, quick for any newcomers that are listening, is what I like to do is, as I'm building my DFS lineups, I'm looking at the values, and I'm looking at the week-to-week consistency, and I'm looking at the up and downs, and I'm saying, okay, how can I take that and correlate that to the prop market? Okay, because I'm looking at that week-to-week consistency. So obviously, what I do is I set my DFS lineup first, the guys that I'm actually zoning in on, whether they be studs, whether they be valuable pieces, whatever you want to call them. And then I parlay that into the prop bet scene, which is what you see right here. You're going to get the name of the player we're talking about. You're going to get what his DFS value is. So right now, Carson Wentz, his DFS value this week, 5,700. Minus 300 is what he was compared to last week. Last week, he was 6,000. You're going to get who he's playing, which is the Tennessee Titans. Is it home? Is it away? And then you're going to get the prop bet that I'm suggesting, which for this week for Carson Wentz is the over 1.5 touchdowns, and the minus 110 is what the betting line is for that prop. Okay, so now you know what it is. Let's get right into it. Carson Wentz has only had the under on this number twice all year. Okay, twice all year, and he's going up against a Tennessee defense. A Tennessee defense that is very lackluster, that is very inferior. They're not playing very well right now. It's just not the defense we've seen last year. It certainly is not. And Carson Wentz, okay, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, 4 weeks in a row, 2 touchdowns or more. Okay, he's been consistent. His quarterback rating, the lowest is 106, the highest 128. He is locked in right now. He is locked in. The quarterback whisperer and Frank Reich is doing his justice with Carson Wentz. So for me, this was a no-brainer. And I'll be honest with you, from the DFS side at 5,700, I think he could be a very sneaky good play this week if you're looking for somebody to give you a solid 20 to 25 points for a low number to be able to build your lineup okay, to be able to build it with other studs except the quarterback, right? Or I say besides the quarterback. So that is why I am liking Carson Wentz this week. I really do. I think this is a 3-touchdown game for C. Wentz. So obviously that over 1.5 to me is a no-brainer. Now let's flip the script to another quarterback, a guy who has seen his highs and he's seen his lows, and that's going to be Sam Darnold. Again, 5,600 this week in DFS, minus 400. Okay, he's dropping down once again against the lowly Atlanta Falcons, right? This is a defense that he should be able to exploit. He should, and this is a plus money prop bet at plus 120 right now. Plus 120, over 1.5 touchdowns. For me, in my opinion, no way in hell does Sam Darnold not throw 2 touchdowns in this game. Okay, honestly, there's no way in hell. Mimic my man Vince McMahon, no chance, right? No chance in hell, in my opinion, that he does not throw double touchdowns, which is at least 2, right? At least 2. Listen, obviously, Sam Darnold, everybody thought, hey, beginning of the year, man, this is guy is an aberration, right? What's going on with this guy? 20, 25, 36. This dude was on fire. Then again, he hit a wall, right? His last 3 weeks, 9, 17, and 3 from a DFS standpoint. But out of the last 4 games, he's only thrown 4 touchdowns, 1 game with only double digits. That will change this week. I firmly believe that will change this week. I'm not going to say he's going to throw 4 touchdowns, but I definitely see a double-digit touchdown game to get him back on the map. I do. This is a good spot for Sam Darnold to get back on the map, okay? To get back on the map, get out of the pocket more that we were used to in those first 4 games, okay? Throw these last 3 games on the wayside, and like I said, for me, for a plus money bet at plus 120, this is a great spot for Sam Darnold. I know on the Wise Guys with the Geek and the Cuz the other night on the Sharp app, I know the Cuz was all in on Carolina, all in on Sam Darnold, giving him one more shot. You know, Kevin was a little back and forth, but I get it. I understand why Kevin was very, hesitant to put all the marbles in on Sam Darnold. But for me, for this show specifically, with the prop at over 1.5, I think I would take that any day of the week. So I think that's a really good spot for Sam Darnold, especially this week, like I said, against Atlanta. So let's stick with, another really good play. And listen, the Philadelphia Eagles have been a complete mess. They've been in complete disarray. They really have. Okay, I was going to say Kenneth Gainwell because that's what we're talking about, but Nick Sirianni, I'm going to give you the Philadelphia perspective, is not worthy to be a head coach right now. He is way out of his league. He should be one and done. I don't see any way this guy turns anything around. He doesn't have the support of the entire staff. And what I mean by that, I should say the entire team, not staff. There's a lot of misnomers going on within the locker room. It's showing on the football field. This team is not prepared to play. They're not mentally prepared to play. They're committing way too many penalties, and I don't think he's utilizing Jalen Hurts the way he should. This is a different quarterback than we've seen last year. In those 4 weeks where he really shined, in my opinion, where he was the 7th ranked quarterback in fantasy overall, 9th ranked in the NFL during that 3 to 4 week span. So this is not the same guy, okay? But one thing's for sure, we don't know what's going on with Miles Sanders before he got injured, right? There was a really weird thing going on. You heard about his name getting thrown out there in trade conversations. I don't get it. I don't understand. This looks like the old Chip Kelly, LaShawn McCoy kind of saga. But now it's Sirianni, Miles Sanders. But unfortunately, now he's injured. He goes on IR. The earliest he can return is November 21st. So right now, Kenneth Gainwell is the guy. It's going to be Gainwell. It's going to be a little Boston Scott, right? But Gainwell has looked good when he was given the opportunity, not in a starting role. And what I mean by that is when he was given those touches throughout the game, when it was him sharing with Miles Sanders, when he was given the actual role, he didn't look comfortable last week. Even though he did a decent game, he just didn't look comfortable. And I think this week he'll get more comfortable. But the good thing he did do last week, he had 8 targets, and that's what you're going to see. But for us specifically, for this show, for our number one, he's going up plus 800. Again, plus 800 in DFS. That's showing that the fantasy gods expect him to have a big game. Okay, in the Motor City, they expect him to have a big game. So plus 800, it just shows me that right away. Over 31 and a half rushing yards to me, it is such an easy bet. Okay, such an easy bet. And I know a lot of people are going to say, what makes you think that all of a sudden Nick Sirianni is going to run the ball? For some reason, he didn't like to run the ball at Miles Sanders, but he did like to run the ball with Kenneth Gainwell. They gave him a lot of draw routes up the gut that he was very successful with. Okay, this Detroit team, even though they play hard, they still give up a lot of yards on the ground. So I expect 31 and a half yards is not much. Listen, he had 5 for 20 last week. Okay, 4 yards per carry. Okay, week 4, he's 3 for 31. Okay, he's going to get 7 to 10 carries. Okay, and all he needs to average is 3 yards per carry in order to get that number. So for me, no reason to believe that he will not hit the 31 and a half at minus 115. So, Kenneth Gainwell, even from a fantasy perspective, I'll tell you what, at DFS perspective, little high for my blood at 5,000. I think you can kind of get, 1 or 2 guys, and we'll talk about that on the Fantasy Firebox for Win Daily tomorrow. But I think you can get other guys that they're going to be more profitable for you. But Kenneth Gainwell, 5,000 is a little rich for my blood for the DFS realm. But at minus 115 for over 31 and a half, I think that's a great prop bet to go in on right there. Now, let's go to the up-and-coming team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, Trevor Lawrence is getting acclimated to the game. He's starting to look good. Actually, he has looked good. He's becoming more efficient week to week. And if you listen to me in the preseason, Marvin Jones was one of my guys. He was one of my guys because when you get a guy that's a rookie quarterback, he's going to lean on a veteran. That's what he's going to do. It happens all the time, right? Happens all the time. And with DJ Chark not knowing his injury status, we already knew that he was going to be dinged up, right? So I couldn't trust DJ Chark. So Marvin Jones was the guy to be. Last week, 10 targets for a swift 100 yards. Okay. The last 4 out of 5 weeks, he's been 6 targets or more. Okay, and this Seattle team is no longer the Legion of Boom that they go up against. It is going to be a hard game for Trevor Lawrence in the sense that the confines of the stadium are still what they are. They're still a 13th man now. That's 100%. But this isn't the Legion of Boom. This isn't the Earl Thomases. This isn't the Cam Chancellors. Those guys are Richard Shermans. They're not there anymore. So I firmly expect Trevor Lawrence to be very good in this game. And Marvin Jones, to me, obviously will be that guy. And you see right there, 5,900 plus 400. They expect him to have a good game. Over 52 and a half is not a lot of yards. Okay, like I said, he had 100 last week. If you take out weeks 4 and 5, he's already hit that number every single week. Okay, we're in week 8. They've already had their bye. So out of their 6 games, okay, only twice did he not hit this number. Okay, this is not a good defense, and I firmly expect him to go on the over. Now, last 2 for the night. The one guy who I said would take a regret, who would regress this year, okay, for fantasy based on where guys were going to draft him, is Stefon Diggs. Now, Stefon Diggs with an $800 plus this week. $800 in the plus. The guy's been a target machine the last 4 weeks. 48 targets in 4 games. The guy has been unbelievable. Okay, but last week, 11 targets, 9 catches for 89 yards, only a 9.9 average. Week 3, 6 catches for 62 yards, a 10.3 average. Okay, his longest last week of 17. Week 3, his longest of 13. Week 1, his longest of 13. Okay, here's what I want to tell you why I'm taking the under on this number. So let's look at this right here. You have Stefon Diggs, again, the 8,100. Plus 800 is what he went up. Going up against Miami, the under 25 and a half longest reception at minus 110 for the prop bet side. I'm going to tell you why I like this bet. Okay? Because when you look at his numbers, whenever he goes above 6 targets, his longest catch is under. Okay? It's simple. Whenever he goes high, 9 targets, guess what? His longest reception, 13 yards. 6 targets, his longest reception, 13 yards. 9 targets, his longest reception, 17 yards. Do you see what I'm talking about here? So for me, against Miami, I could see a lot of the short passing game. Okay, the long game, again, is still going to go to Emmanuel Sanders. So I firmly expect him to have a big game, but the longest catch at 25 and a half, in my opinion, is where to go. The only under bet I have on, just going by his past target catch ratio. It's simple as that. That's what I'm looking at. Stefon Diggs, tremendous receiver. I just don't think he'll be the long guy this week. Now, let's get to the lock of the week because it's Friday night, right? We're going to keep this show at 20 minutes. We're only at 16 and a half. Perfect timing. Like I said, we're going to keep it under 20. Again, this is the Sharp app. This is the alternative edge with Tony Jigsaw Catillo. You see the bottom of the screen. Go get your first month right now and make sure you put that code in HEAT, HEAT, free, so they know Jigsaw sent you. You want to get in on this today. I'm telling you. Listen, I've been hitting NBA DFS, which we are going to be talking about very shortly. Okay, specifically because of these projection models that are done within the Sharp app and Win Daily. I mean, these guys, it's a mixture. You see Win Daily guys in Sharp, you see Sharp guys in Win Daily. It's just great. But when we talk about, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I don't bet the spreads. But if I did, my man John's got it going. Anthony's got it going. These cappers are unbelievable. College football, my man Mark Drumheller. You got to check these guys out all on the Sharp app. So check them out today. Now, let's go with the lock of the week and finish this up. The lock of the week, Cincinnati. Okay, I love that Jamar Chase is balling out because I picked Jamar Chase to be the number 1 receiver in Cincinnati, and not only be the number 1 receiver in Cincinnati, but be a top 10 fantasy receiver this year for exactly what he's doing right now, and I love it. All the shade that I got, you know what? Here's to you. I would say what I want to say, but I'm not. But what I will tell you is CJ Uzomah. I feel like I should have a Roman Reigns prop behind me when I say that, okay? When he's getting ready for that Superman punch or that spear, right? But what I will say is CJ Uzomah. It's a tongue twister, bro. I'm telling you. CJ Uzomah, right? He has been on a tear. Okay, he has. Okay, Jamar Chase been doing his thing, but CJ been doing his thing as well. Okay, listen. Is he going to have tremendous games all the time? No, but this is a straight value play. You see, plus 700. Again, what does that tell you? You guys should know. It tells you that they expect him to have a big game against the lowly New York Jets, who are now going to throw out there Mr. Joe Flacco himself on the offensive side. There's going to be listen, this is going to be a bloodbath, in my opinion. It really is, okay? It really is. No Corey Davis for the Jets, but I'm looking at the offense specifically in Cincinnati, and I'm looking at the tight end because I think he's going to get you at least that one long touchdown. If you look at week 4 and you look at week 7, his long at 31 and 55, they both were double-digit games. Listen, you hear this a lot. Firmly expect, again, over 23 and a half receiving yards is an absolute steal, in my opinion. Okay, I understand he didn't hit it in weeks 5 and 6, but he was only 7 yards off. Only 7 yards off. Okay, this is going to be one of those. He's going to have 6 to 7 targets this game, probably catch 4 or 5 balls for about 40 to 50 yards and score a touchdown. There's your lock of the week. You can thank me later right there. Okay, at minus 110. Lock it in on the Sharp app. Get ready for Sunday, and let's make a little money on the DFS/prop bet market. So let's review right from the start. We have Carson Wentz. There's your number. DFS 5,700, minus 300 versus Tennessee, over 1.5 touchdowns, minus 110. We're going to go Sam Darnold at 5,600 minus 400 at Atlanta, over 1.5 touchdowns, plus 120, a plus 120 bet. Yes, I am going to believe in Sam this week against Atlanta. Then we're going to go Marvin Jones. Okay, over 52.5 yards, minus 115 against a very inferior Seattle defense with the kid in Trevor Lawrence who's starting to really ball out. Then we're going to go to Philadelphia in the Motown City against the Detroit Lions with Kenneth Gainwell. No more Miles Sanders for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, you see the explosion that Kenneth Gainwell has, over 31.5 for the rushing yards, in my opinion, is an absolute steal. Get in on that today. Then the one under bet that we do have, it comes from Buffalo. Stefon Diggs under 25.5 for his longest reception. And then our lock of the week is CJ, don't call me Roman Reigns' prop, Uzomah, over 23.5 receiving yards, minus 110. Throw it on, put it on a receipt, lock it in. It's going to hit again. This is the Sharp app. This is the alternative edge. Follow us all over social media. Hit the subscription button. And most importantly, make sure that you're tuning in every single day for the free bet of the day and all the unbelievable content we have. It's Friday night. It's raining out. I am glad we were able to get this show in, get you some, what do we have? 6? Yeah. 6 nice prop bets. Let's see if we can go in positive money, which I really feel that we can. Check in with me on Saturday. Check in with me on Sunday. Let me know how you're doing. For everybody watching, stay safe and stay healthy. For the alternative edge, Tony Jigsaw Cotillo is signing out, and we will see you next